This week, my focus was terrible. And surprisingly, it wasn't because I didn't have enough time or I was too tired or too busy or didn't want to work. It was uncertainty. And once I realized that, a lot of things started clicking for me. This week was a lot. I started off knowing that I had a ton to get done for Property Mob to make up for the week before. I had decided last minute to give myself 3 days to take a NEB certification test for some HVAC stuff with work. Then I knew I was going to be flying in to Ohio to my main office to have some company meetings and find out about some performance reviews, how we're doing as a company. And on top of that, still having to get as much work done as I could for the client, while still trying to focus on health, get to basketball, pack up, see family, because I actually got to go to Indiana as well, and also do YouTube and work on AI and just get everything done that I needed to get done. I had a lot. It was just a lot. And it got to the point where I was thinking about the experiment that I'm doing with trying to be able to balance it all. And I definitely started to feel this doubt and this overwhelm. And a lot of things I was worried about, for example, just with my current project, my contract's up in a month. My lease is up. So it's am I getting extended? Am I moving somewhere else? Am I on a different project? Am I staying here? Will I be NEB certified? There was just a lot of things going on in my mind, and it was racing and jumping back and forth. It wasn't until last Wednesday where I was sitting at my desk. I had 3 to 4 hours of work on Property Mob. I sit down, I'm ready to work, I'm not tired, I was getting sleep, and I was just holy crap, I can't turn my mind off. I sat down, I opened up my laptop, and it was my brain just started bouncing back and forth. It was what happens if you don't pass a NEB test? What do things look like after you go to headquarters? What should I do with the next project? It was just question on question on question of everything. And it was just what if? And I wasn't scrolling on my phone, I wasn't avoiding work. I genuinely wanted to work, but my attention just felt so scattered, I was getting pulled in so many directions. It wasn't until this weekend, I'm just kind of being with my family, being present, and just kind of slowing down. There was a couple pockets where I realized there was 3 things I've been trying to manage. Problem. But then I realized there's time, there's energy, and then there's attention. Time determines how much I can do. Energy determines how well I can do it. But attention determines what gets done. And this week, uncertainty stole my attention. The best way I can explain it is open loops. Every unanswered question, every unfinished decision, every unknown keeps running in the background. It's kind of on your phone or on a Chrome browser when you have 50 Chrome tabs open. It's running in the background and just taking up RAM and slowing everything else down. That's what my brain felt like every time I was trying to focus. Another tab opened, and eventually there wasn't enough attention for me to focus on what was left sitting right in front of me. And I kept getting annoyed and frustrated because it feels like my business is the one that suffers. It's not because I don't care about it. It's just because everything else has a lot of external repercussions or people holding you to things. Where my business solely depends on me. But when I sat down and finally was ready to work, all that uncertainty kept smacking me in the head. And I think the problem is lately I've been letting my business use whatever attention I have left. And with everything I have going on, it's very little attention. And I'm trying to work on this because I do have a pretty strong inner critic. So I'm trying to give myself grace, because looking back, it's okay, I took a test I was supposed to study 80 hours for, which I didn't. I had work, I had flights, I had family, I had to go to headquarters and hang out with the team. It wasn't I was doom scrolling or watching TV or just kind of being lazy. I'm actively doing a lot. And sometimes we're so hard on ourselves because we didn't get everything done we wanted to accomplish that we forget everything that we actually carried. But I also don't want the uncertainty to become an excuse, because uncertainty isn't going away. There will always be another waiting on a decision or waiting on another opportunity, another decision, another unknown. If I want to build a life that I'm trying to build, that I'm going to need to learn how to keep attention even with uncertainty. And that is like a big thing that I'm recognizing. But the difference is like I'm giving myself grace. I'm not going to beat myself up. And in fact, it helped a lot because today is Sunday. 20 minutes ago, I just got back from my Uber because I flew in from Indy into Dallas. I'm back and I'm here doing this video. And while I was on the plane, I took everything that I was like learning and thinking and really just focused and just been grinding for like that couple hours on the plane. And I was actually able to get a lot done for this experiment. So things are working. But what I'm going to try to do is test this attention theory next week, because I feel like you can give yourself grace, but you can't make excuses. So there needs to be some type of form of accountability or like action that changes next week for me. And so I don't know quite what it's going to be. I'm going to sleep on it because I am exhausted, but it's either going to be like, okay, you got to put the most important thing first. Let's work on the property mop business the first hour I wake up and then go to work. I don't know if it's maybe get to work early so that I have more time in the evenings to work on the business, or if it's simply finding 5 to 10 minutes to meditate to kind of work on calming my mind. And maybe that meditation becomes a non-negotiable. And maybe I need like a better system for closing loops before I open new ones. I don't know yet what's going to work or help me improve, but I'm going to try a few things and see how I'm feeling and obviously give you guys updates or give you all updates. I know I mentioned this before, but one thing I've noticed since making these videos is every few weeks, I'm noticing a new bottleneck. First, I thought it was time. Then I realized it was energy. This week, I think it was attention, or maybe more directly, uncertainty stealing my attention. We'll see if I'm right, and I'll obviously let you, because the experiment video is coming out next week, and I'm just going to give myself a pat on the back because your girl was locked in on that flight. I was like, I'm going to try to get as much done as I can so that I can kind of keep striving, keep building, and yeah, we're doing what we can today. This lesson was hard. It was hard. I'm not very good with uncertainties. I don't think a lot of people are, but that's what happens. When we actually get the data, we're able to make better decisions, better results, better judgments. And so I'm just going to keep trucking along, keep getting after it. I know there's a ton of people on this journey, and it's weird because when I'm in it, I feel so alone. But I know that there's a bunch of people going through similar things, similar ways. We all have to experience some of the struggle, right, to get to the goals that we want. And so we just got to keep trucking, keep getting through it. I'm telling this to you, but I'm also telling it to myself. Keep on keeping on. The journey, man, there's pleasure in the process. Even if it sucks, we still just got to keep fighting that fight. We got one life and it's exciting. The struggle sucks, but at the same time, it's rewarding, it's fulfilling. It gives me purpose, it gives me meaning. So if you're just feeling like, man, I'm exhausted, I don't know what to do, and you're feeling overwhelmed, just know like next week, we get to be a little bit better. Each day we get to just be a little bit better. And sometimes our better doesn't produce the same results as yesterday, but we're just going to keep getting after it because I know with consistency and accountability and pushing forward and giving grace that we will get there. We just got to believe, have faith. This is my message to you. Keep going. If you're feeling uninspired, keep going. If you want to quit, keep going. If you're feeling like, man, why am I doing this? Keep going. You're going to be on the other side soon. And so with that being said, as always, I'm rooting for you. I believe in you. Go live life intentionally.